The Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab says he's going to make it easier for some Hong Kong citizens to move to the UK unless China reconsiders its new national security law. The move came after China passed legislation to criminalise acts of subversion in Hong Kong. Our correspondent John Sudworth is in Beijing for us now. John.
Well, Sophie, there's long been a sense of betrayal after Britain's decision not to grant full citizenship rights to the people of Hong Kong after it was handed back to China. But in recent years, those criticisms have been intensifying, with China accused of undermining the very freedoms it promised to protect. So today's decision, bound to be seen by Beijing as an affront on its hold over the people and the territory of that city, is a momentous one.
As they arrived for the closing day of Parliament, Beijing's Tiananmen Square was quiet. There are no protests over lockdowns here. Inside, China's president had a spring in his step. Bringing the virus under control is seen as vindication for him and for a system untroubled by messy democratic debate. There can be no starker illustration of that than this. A new national security law imposed on Hong Kong with 2,878 votes in favour and just one against. The fear that any anti-China protest might now be classed as subversion has led to an international outcry, including this surprise announcement for the 300,000 Hong Kongers who hold British overseas passports.
If China continues down this path and implements this national security legislation, we will change that status, and we will remove that 6-month limit and allow those B&O passport holders to come to the UK and to apply to work and study for extendable periods of 12 months, and that would itself provide a pathway to future citizenship.
The move will infuriate China, which insists its new law will target only a minority of violent demonstrators.
The decision adopted is designed for steady implementation of one country, two systems and Hong Kong's prosperity.
But China is slowly tightening control. As its parliament came to a close in Beijing, Hong Kong's politicians were in disarray over another new law. If passed, it would make disrespecting China's national anthem a criminal offence. John Sudworth, BBC News, Beijing.
Now, Hong Kong's relative independence from China was supposed to last for half a century after Britain handed it over in 1997. Well, less than halfway through the agreed time, cherished freedoms are being snatched away with a new security law passed by China's parliament today. It could mean, amongst other things, Chinese intelligence agencies setting up bases in the city. As for what Britain is going to do about it, ask China to step back, and if it doesn't, extend the visa rights of British passport holders.
To call it a vote would imply that the 3,000 delegates in Beijing's Great Hall of the People had a choice. But they, like Hong Kong, had no option when it came to passing the new national security law. Polling in this parliament is pretty much a done deal. Students at the forefront of Hong Kong's pro-democracy protests now face a heightened risk of arrest. But still, they are determined to demonstrate, saying their future is at stake.
But we have no choice. We have to fight against. If we don't fight against, if we don't protect our hometown, we have no future.
China now looms larger than ever in Hong Kong. For the first time, it has imposed a law carrying criminal penalties without any consultation. Within months or even weeks, any form of subversion will be outlawed, and Chinese security forces could enter the city to end unrest.
This was not supposed to happen, at least not for the first 50 years, but it's happening right now. And a democracy denied to the Hong Kong people. China completely breaching its obligations under the Sino-British Joint Declaration, registered with the UN, I think the international community needs to speak out.
The British government has been singled out for its lack of intervention during rising tensions in the territory.
We are obviously deeply concerned about this step, and working with our international partners, what we now would like to see is China just pause for thought and step back from this step, reconsider.
President Xi appears unrelenting in the face of mounting criticism from the UK and the United States. The national security law could be the first of many, which under the pretext of peace and stability is aimed at seizing control. Hong Kong has emerged from lockdown into a Chinese crackdown. Debbie Edward, News at 10, Beijing.